Turning, looking,
It is game 2 of a weekend set between the Yankees and the Cardinals from St. Louis, and the Yankees will do battle against an old friend. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. How's it going, everybody? Really bad night for the Yankees. Sorry the intro got cut off there. Just had a little slip of the mouse finger. That was a tough one. I mean, you had to figure Jordan Montgomery was going to do that, right? I mean, we had to know he was going to shut down the Yankees. The Yankees continued their habit of not hitting when Jordan Montgomery's pitching. 5 shutout innings for Montgomery tonight. And he was pitching with a proverbial chip on his shoulder. You could tell. Hey, look, I'm going to do my very best not to go on a rant tonight. I like my emotions like I like my water. Bottled. Dodgers still undefeated since the Joey Gallo trade. Maybe he was the glue holding everything together. The Yankees 0-4 since that day. It's like a curse. Joey Gallo, the gift that keeps on giving. Quick positive note on the prospects. Oswald Peraza, Anthony Volpe, and Jason Dominguez have all homered within the last 24 hours. So at least things are looking good on the farm. I've seen the Yankees go through funks like this in the past. And sometimes you can inject a little bit of life by bringing up a young player. Last year it was Vasquez and Florial. In years past it's been Robinson Cano or Jabba Chamberlain, Jesus Montero. I wouldn't be surprised if Oswald Peraza is that guy this year. They don't always become Yankees legends, but a lot of times they can inject some energy into an otherwise stumbling team. I mean, the Yankees look like they're collapsing. I tweeted tonight that they're collapsing. I mean, that's 4 straight losses. They are under 500 by a long way for the last several weeks. It's not looking good. Yankees stacked righties in the lineup tonight against Jordan Montgomery. No Benintendi in there. Another night off for Rizzo with the back. Rare start for Tim LaCastro. I still get PTSD every time I look at the lineup because I think I'm going to see Joey Gallo's name. I'm scarred for life. But stacking the lineup with righties didn't help. Monty was great. Arenado gave the Redbirds an early 1-0 lead with a line drive single off of Domingo Germán in the first inning. Bottom 3, Paul Goldschmidt smoked one off the right center field wall, but the Yankees made an outstanding relay to get the runner at home. Tim LaCastro got the ball quickly to Gleyber Torres. Torres threw a strike home, and Kyle Higashioka made a very nice tag. So it was a well-executed play. Another nice defensive play for the Yankees IKF in the bottom of the 4th. And Domingo Germán was good tonight, so it wasn't all negatives. Germán, through 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Considering he's missed most of the season, he looked nearly in midseason form. The curveball wasn't consistently sharp like we've seen it, but it did have some good bite at times. He did get some swings and misses on some breaking balls that just kind of, they seem like spinners. They didn't have that nice sharp break. He also got some called strikes that were kind of the benefit of bad calls by the umpire. Lou Trevino, with another good appearance tonight, he came in to strike out Arenado in the 6th. Aroldis Chapman didn't look great, but he got the job done in the 8th. But really the story was the bats. 2 hits. That's all we got. 2 hits. Cards hang on to win 1-0. First time that the Yankees have lost 1-0 since 2020. Second time since 2016. And as an old friend would say, it's not what you want. lot of things to be unhappy about. We're going to take a look at the box score. I mean, it's just worth mentioning that the struggles continue for a number of players. Aaron Hicks 0 for 3 again tonight. I'm getting a little tired of the pop-ups out of him. Kiner Falefa 0 for 2. LeCastro 0 for 2. I mean, he's in there for his defense. Really, the only hits, Aaron Judge, who singled on a ground ball through the 5.5 hole between third base and shortstop. They call that the 5.5 hole. And I think that term may have been coined by Tony Gwynn, because on your scorecard, third base is number 5 and shortstop is number 6. So a ground ball in the hole there gets called the 5.5 hole. Anyway. And then the other hit came from Higashioka, who roped one kind of towards left center. He's caught Jordan Montgomery a lot, so I kind of figured he would be in the lineup tonight. But that base hit, with that hit now, he's off the interstate. He's at 200. So, all right, something to be happy about. I thought the Yankees pitching was solid tonight. I mean, you look at the box score, we already went through it. Marinaccio, who, by the way, still wearing number 97. Can we give that kid some respect? He's got a 2.03 ERA. Maybe he doesn't want to change it because it might be bad luck. But essentially, he's wearing a spring training number. Marinaccio, very nice outing. Trevino, 1 1/3 scoreless innings, did give up 1 hit. ERA has dropped under 6. As we've talked about a number of times on this channel, it can change in a flash for relief pitchers, that ERA. And Aroldis Chapman worked a scoreless inning, no strikeouts, not used to seeing that from him, and 1 walk. But he gets through it. And then over on the right-hand side of your screen, Jordan Montgomery picks up his 4th win, and he got 1 run of run support. I mean, and when the Yankees would give him run support, he would give it back almost every time. That's why he only had 3 wins this season. But he picks up a win in his Cardinals debut. Albert Vick says Hicks is the new Gallo. I'm just going to read a lot of your comments tonight because I'm almost at a loss for words. You know, I feel somewhat out of ideas. I watch this team every day and I don't understand how they can be this bad. You know, they were 46-15 at one point, I believe. I think that was kind of their high watermark. They were on fire. And now, I mean, the wheels are coming off. Samantha T says, Newt Bar. I love that name. I said it was weird last night, but I actually love it. It reminds me of, what's the guy from Breaking Bad? I think his name was Werner, who helped build the lab. It was from Better Call Saul. I remember that guy. And I don't know. He's a defensive wizard out there. Made a great play last night. Made a great play tonight. Home World Hub Media says, give Monty a 1-0 lead while wearing pinstripes, and he gives it up. Give him a 1-0 lead elsewhere, and he holds it down. I mean, that's the story. Rajit says, Aaron Judge is wearing a spring training number 2. Maybe every player should wear a spring training number. For Judge, it kind of works, though, because he wore 99 in the minor leagues. And he's a gigantic guy. He's like a maxed out video game character. So it makes sense that he would wear number 99. We'll get some music up in this place. Let's see here. I'm looking for comments that don't have a ton of swears in them. The negative dude says, this team has given me 2021 PTSD. And look, you're not wrong. This felt like a 2021 game, but amazingly, the 2021 team never lost 1-0. Riley Moore says Torres swings at anything. He's definitely trying to do too much at the plate. That's a good comment. Astute observation. Bravo Willie says Hicks is 0 for his last 33.
That is one big pile of shit.
That's terrible. All right, let's see here. Puerto Rican veteran says Peraza and Andujar sure would look good in the lineup. I would love to see Andujar get a shot, but where are you going to play him on defense? You know? As for Peraza, you know, IKF made a couple of nice plays on defense tonight. So, I doubt the Yankees would reward him with that by benching him. But I agree that Peraza would add a little bit of pop. I mean, I've been watching his highlights daily in the minor leagues, and he's hitting the ball really hard. He looks locked in. Ariadna says, one word, inconsistency.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Samantha T says, Judge won't be here next year. We're going to be terrible. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that. If he hits 60 plus home runs in pinstripes, I mean, he's going to own the city for the rest of his life. Why would he want to leave? I mean, even if the Yankees don't offer the most, the endorsements are in New York. If you hit 60 plus home runs, he's going to be on every billboard in the city, if he's not already. Nick Rossi says Montas tomorrow. Let's hear it for Frankie Montas making his Yankees debut. He apparently arrived with the team tonight. He was on bereavement leave. Apparently, one of his wife's relatives, so one of his in-laws, passed away, so he had to go to a funeral. But he is back and pitching tomorrow. Co and Piz says Torres cleanup with an exclamation or with a question mark. That's 2 nights in a row that he's batted cleanup and hasn't done much. He's obviously pressing. The OPS is down to 757. The average is at 251. Your number 3 hitter tonight was Donaldson, hitting 221. He had a couple of hits the last couple of days, but that's just not what you want to see out of your lineup. Benintendi was out of the lineup tonight against the lefty. I feel like Benintendi could have handled Jordan Montgomery. But LV Sure says, I can't watch Torres bat no more. Hey, look, you're preaching to the choir, man. 49-16 apparently was their record at one point, but now they are stumbling badly. Finlodge says Judge will be back.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Agree. Rajit says bring back Gardy. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. If he's been out this long, I don't think the Yankees are considering bringing him back. Randy Noel says, didn't IKF win a gold glove at third base? Yes, he did. He had a 3.7 WAR last season. He was outstanding at third base. He switched over to shortstop at one point last year, and his defensive run saved went down. But he was a good little defensive third baseman. But I mean, the guy doesn't hit enough to be really an everyday player. He really would be a nice super utility in the mold of DJ LeMahieu, where he can play a number of positions, even catch. He caught for a while. I don't think he wants to do it, but I think he would do it in a pinch, like your third catcher on the team in an emergency. He's got that value because he can do it at the major league level. Play third, play short. He can obviously play second. I think that he would be a nice bench player that you could rest guys on a rotating basis. But you don't have a spot for that right now because DJ is already that player. DJ's plays first base one night, second base another night, third base another night. The Rays last year switched guys around to different positions a lot, and I think that's a model the Yankees are following. I'm just curious to see what they do with Peraza. Rumor has it that they were including Peraza as part of the package that they offered for Luis Castillo, but that the Mariners weren't that high on Peraza. So it'll be interesting to see, whether he is for real or if he ends up being like a quadruple A player. But I like his bat speed. Ariana says, the Yankees got the money to sign Judge. Give him what he wants.
Pay that man his money.
100% agree. Juju says, Boone's lineups are questionable. So the lineups apparently come down like this. The analytics people put together with their computers what they think would be the best lineup on any given night. And then they send it down to I almost said Judge, to Aaron Boone. And Boone will take into consideration, who's not feeling good, like the physical stuff, like who needs a day off, and he'll adjust it from there. But the analytics people really have a bigger hand in creating the lineup than Aaron Judge does. Rich says, thoughts on tonight's game? I thought that's what we were doing the whole time.
It doesn't work that way.
I thought that's what we... I mean, we've been doing that for 15 minutes. Finlage says, was Torres the reason why we didn't get Castillo? I don't know why we didn't get Castillo. Those negotiations generally don't come back to public. I mean, occasionally you'll find out what the package offer was for somebody, but Cashman generally holds that close to his vest and just won't tell anybody. So, Ariadna says, is this the new Bambino curse? I'm assuming she means Joey Gallo. I hope not. I hope not. John Barreau says, or Bertot says, they do not hit with runners in scoring position. Same story, different season. I mean, that's been the story for the last several years. Yu Shen Len says, can someone ask Boone why Torres is batting fourth? It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. All right, so I think we got another Super Dono that I missed. I'm going to scroll up and try and find it real quick. Just a reminder to go to manscaped.com and use the code NYY Recaps. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. And they got a lot of good stuff. The Earl of Demise says, same damn team I've been watching for 5 years. We are literally limping into the postseason, heading straight for an upset loss in the division series. We're getting destroyed by Houston in the ALCS. Appreciate the dono, Earl. It does have that feeling, but we do have to step back and remind ourselves that it is only August and that we're still without Stanton. We're still without Rizzo. That the pitching looked pretty good tonight. The bullpen seems to be bouncing back. Even Holmes, though he had a bad night last night, the stuff is still there, and I think he's close. There's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. Frankie Montas pitching tomorrow. He comes out and throws 7 shutout innings, and the Yankees score 6 or 7 runs. You feel good headed into Seattle. If you lose tomorrow, and you got to play Seattle, who just took 2 out of 3 from you at home, it's a different scenario. So tomorrow I'm looking at is almost a must-win. I mean, as must-win as you can have at this point in the season. Looks like the Astros lost to the Guardians tonight, so the Yankees don't lose any standing in the home field race. But it's hard to believe this team was 49-16 and cruising towards, maybe a major league record for wins in a season, because the wheels have completely fallen off. They are now 70-38. So 32 games over 500, still pretty good for this point of the season. But as Riley Moore says, the Astros are right behind us. Laura V, always great questions and comments, says, any chance Cashman/Boone will get their pink slips if they blow postseason? Fingers crossed. That's a great question. So, Boone, I don't think they'll move him. He just signed an extension. He's apparently one of the more sought-after coaches in Major League Baseball. But Cashman is not re-signed. And he's been the GM for a long time, right? Since 1998, February 2nd. They reminded us of that on the captain. He's got to be the guy you look to if this team continues to fail. I mean, you just had Juan Soto and Luis Castillo available, and the Yankees got neither of them. We said that they've got to go all in. They didn't go all in. They made some nice additions. Benintendi, I think, is going to be a nice addition. Trevino and Efros look like really nice bullpen additions. Jury's out on Montas. He's had some shoulder issues this year. He's coming back. Jury's out on Bader. But as of right now, I'm not feeling great. Because the chemistry doesn't feel right. Earl of Demise says, I'm sorry, Derek. Injuries aren't an excuse. Atlanta lost Acuna last year and they won the World Series. And Acuna is better than everyone on our team outside of Judge. You're not wrong. But, I mean, injuries do hamper your team. I mean, we're down 50-plus home runs, right? We're down a really good left-handed hitter. We're down one of the scariest hitters in Major League Baseball. So, I'm not going to eat their lunch yet, but you wouldn't be wrong to start worrying at this point. To let it come onto your radar that, hey, maybe this team isn't as sharp as we thought. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. I just wanted to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast catcher. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Podbean, Stitcher, all that stuff. Google. Just type in NYY Recaps and you can find it. This was a tough night, but tomorrow we're going to be back. I typically don't do a show on Sunday, but since Frankie Montas is making his debut, we are going to do a show. And then Monday and Tuesday, tune in before the game. We're going to do live pregame shows for the West Coast games. Because, I don't want to stream at 1:30 in the morning. I get up early in the morning, and there's hardly anybody ever on if I stream past midnight. So I would rather do a nice pregame show where we can have a number of people on. We can do some fun stuff. But that's the way it goes. Them's the breaks, to quote Boris Johnson. I'll see you guys next time.